guys, welcome back to our channel. This is Yvonne from Ginger Chick Rehab, and on our channel, along with my husband Chris, we do thrift flips. We take thrift store finds and we make them over, and we share the process with what we do to these items to get them ready to resell, and we resell them here locally in a local antique mall. So in today's video, this is actually, it is a thrift store find, but it's a thrift store Target return. At my local Goodwill, we get returns from Target, and I'm always happy to run across them. Sometimes they are really broken and you can't really fix them, or they're missing a lid or what have you. But a lot of the furniture, maybe it didn't fit for where the person wanted it, maybe the color wasn't quite right. So in today's video, I'm going to show you what we did to these two tables that I found at my local Goodwill. Remember, they were Target returns, which I'm very happy because I know that a lot of people are into those Amazon pallet Target returns, buying a whole pallet full of stuff. Oh, that would actually be Chris's dream. Have any of you watched any of that on YouTube where people buy pallet full? Oh, I don't know. That's a lot of work to go through that stuff, but that would be like Christmas Day, opening up packages and seeing what you can find. So enough talking, let's get to this video. Now, first up is this round table. I absolutely love the shape. I think that's just a unique little shape. The only thing I think that maybe it got returned is, as you can tell, the colors all don't necessarily match, but it is a nice, sturdy piece. And now you have to be quick around here. Chris gets started on projects faster than you want. I'm like, hold on, I need to take a picture so they can see the before. So this one was $25. It is nice, heavy, and sturdy wood. I definitely love that little farmhouse look it's got going on. So Chris is just going to take the Allen wrench and tighten up these bolts to make sure that it's good and tight. I've never ordered a piece of furniture off of Target before. Is it like IKEA where it comes in a whole bunch of parts? We once got a dresser from there years ago, drove 2.5 hours to the local IKEA, and it took 8 hours to put the dresser together. Now this one I definitely, because of all these little ABC stickers, I'm pretty sure that this came in pieces and parts and that you had to put it together. So you know me, you don't paint over any type of tag or sticker. So I'm going around looking for all the ABCs to take all these little stickers off before painting it. I wasn't going around looking for all those stickers. I would not have noticed going, one thing does not look like the other. So I'm thinking that the person that put this together, oops, I think they put it on backwards. Hey, that happens. So what was going to be just a quick clean, get stickers off, clean it, paint it, is now I have to take it apart so it matches the other side. Oh my gosh, I can see now why the person may have returned it to Target, because they're like, oh my gosh, I have to take everything all apart to just flip this piece around. And yep, that's what we had to do. I videoed, Chris took it apart. Was it worth the time? I have to say yes, especially if you're reselling a piece. If it's just for your house, leave it alone. But if you're reselling it, yep, it was worth the time on flipping it the right way. I still would have flipped it if it was for my house too. I'm going to be using this Bear Scuff Defense paint on these two tables. I'm going to be able to water it down, put it in our Graco handheld sprayer, mix it in with some water, and just get these tables sprayed. It's a very light taupey tan color, just a nice soft linen almost. Now this table has some texture on it, and I really want to show these details off on these legs. I just absolutely love all these hard corners. We did not undercoat it with black because I'd already paid $25, cost efficient. Luckily, this paint covered beautifully on it. I'm not sure if it was the sprayer or if it was the paint itself, but there wasn't really a lot to have to sand other than when we wanted where we wanted it to de-stress. So I'm sure since this paint was a scuffable that you probably didn't need to put a top coat on it, but as a reseller I get really nervous that somebody's going to buy my piece and the paint's going to scrape off. So unfortunately, I'm sorry, I'm still going to use some of this SLOAN top coat to seal this piece in. So if anything, it's just going to be a nice paint job that nobody's going to have to worry about for years to come. When it comes to top coats, we usually have it in a hopper ready to use. We needed to mix some more up, so why not share with you how we need to mix it up. The SLOAN top coat is nice and thick, and it is made to be watered down, so perfect for spraying. So when it comes to top coats, we just feel like, especially since we use this really good paint, that all we need to do is just do the top of the item, so we're not worried about flipping it upside down at all, just getting a nice misting of this top coat on. One more final sanding just to make sure that there's no texture left behind from that top coat. Just using a fine grit sanding sponge. So I'm going to be using the Apple Barrel Multi-Use in white and a sponge dabber to apply my paint color on my Waverly stencil that I purchased at Walmart. So I was on the fence of black or white for my stencil color, but I thought that the white will pop off this putty color, I'm going to call it, perfectly. So I'm just doing that dry technique where you put a little bit of paint on your sponge dabber and then you tap a lot of it off so you're not having it go underneath your stencil. Now, I like to let my paint dry before removing the stencil. Personal preference. Some people like to take it right as it's wet. It's whatever works for you. And as you see, yep, I did tape it off. So when I was pouncing away on that sponge dabber, that I didn't actually shift the stencil. Oh, I love the way that white popped against this color so much. I'm going to do a few more off-centered stencils on the bottom. So how many of my regular viewers guessed that I was going to put some grain sack stripes on this table? You were right. So I started off with the 2-inch Dollar General tape just to have a guide coming in from the sides, and then I put a regular piece of masking tape, butted that up right next to it, and then another piece of a 2-inch Dollar General tape next to it, and then I'm going to pull that middle regular piece of masking tape up. That's going to be where my paint is going to go. I had a little bit of problem with my tape because I had the fan going. It was a hot day and the fan kept blowing my tape and it was getting really stuck together. Now, I didn't have to use that second piece of 2-inch. I could have used a regular piece, but it was what it was. So I'm using that same Apple Barrel color white and the same little sponge dabber that I did on that previous stencil for these grain sack stripes. So here's when I realized, like, wow, I wasted that piece of 2-inch tape. Oh, well, it is what it is. I decided to make my spacing. I just want 2 simple stripes. So I used the 1/2-inch tape in the middle, and now I'm laying a piece of the regular size masking tape next to that 1/2-inch tape just for spacing, because that's where my next stripe is going to go. And then I'll lay another piece of the tape on the other side. I don't know, I was going tape crazy that day for some reason. and the fans were not helping my situation. Maybe that was getting me all flustered during the time, but I did achieve the stripes though. And this is the point of my editing going, really? That's the piece I decide to reuse, the piece of the dollar store masking tape. Oh my goodness. I guess I just needed it to look pretty as the tape goes. It did look pretty. One piece here, one piece there, another piece here, and a couple stripes down the middle. Ooh, so let's move on from that grain sack striping. So now you're going to have a little bit of raise. You're going to feel a little bit texture on those stencils. I'm just taking this fine grit sanding sponge from SLOAN and just taking any of the texture that I feel off. So I'm loving how this stencil turned out, so I'm going to finish this up using some of this yummy smelling Chippy Paint brand clear wax. Oh my gosh, I do well, Chris says it really smells good. I still don't have any smell from COVID, but I'm just using the SLOAN. Man, I got all the products going on here. There's a whole bunch of stuff I'm using now. So I'm using the SLOAN waxing brush to apply it, and then just a piece of drop cloth to wipe any of the excess off. So now I have this Transfer Me stencil that I ordered from scrapbook.com, one of those moments that you're sitting hitting click button, buy button too often. So when I got these stencils, I did not realize that they were water, that you had to use water on the back of them. This is a large one. I tried a couple out on another project and I had some epic fails, so I'm going to try something a little bit different applying it to this table. I absolutely love the table. I loved these flowers. The chances of you finding an object that just has this size. So I thought if I kind of weave where the words are and cut it, that I can off-center both of these pieces onto that cute little table over the top of the green sack striping. I want that white to pop through. It is transparent, but I absolutely love these flowers. Now I don't want this white edging that's around this transfer to show, so I'm going to cut that off. With these watered down transfer where you have to add water to them, they are backwards, not like the IOD or the redesigned transfers that you put on and the image is facing you. It's mirrored. So it has a clear piece of plastic on the top of it. This is where I have made some mistakes when I was using these before. I was good with one piece and then put it in the water, then forgot to take that off, and then just wasted my whole transfer. Hey, everything is a life lesson learned. So unfortunately, sometimes it's wasting money. So I'm remembering this time to take the image off. I'm remembering that the which way that it goes to get the look that I'm looking for. And there's always dust. Fans are going. It's hot here in Michigan today while I'm doing this. So as you see, I did not water them down first. I'm applying them and making sure that it fits where I am. Once you take that piece of clear plastic off, it is a little bit sticky. So I just got a bucket of water, a piece of drop cloth, and I'm going to wet them down this way, and hopefully that it works. That way that what I was having a problem with these larger transfers that you have to water down, they ended up sticking together as I was taking them out of my bowl of water. So I'm like, I am wasting money here. I have to figure out how to be able to use these. So I like to share my trials and errors because I can't, maybe I'm the only one that this has ever happened to, but I don't like to waste money. You can see as I was rubbing the water on, they started to pull apart. The two pieces started to pull apart. So I knew that I had enough water and it was time that I could start removing this paper. Oh, for me, oh my goodness, that was so much easier to do it this way. I guess if you have a flat object like this worked out perfect. Putting it on, there's just enough sticky to keep it in place, and then wetting that paper. And then the paper's letting you know when it's wet enough because the two pieces come apart. Now, as I'm taking this piece off, I can see a couple of the little pieces of the transfer came off on the paper, but it's that perfectly imperfect. That transfer is wet. I don't want to touch it. It will wrinkle, it will smear. I'm sharing from experience. So it is that perfectly imperfect and that nice distressed look. I'm just going to gently go back around, just lightly dabbing any of that excess water, not trying to hit the transfer too awful much, just making sure that it's not having water just laying on top of it. Now after that transfer is dry, I'm going to seal it in using some Rust-Oleum clear matte. After the clear matte spray is dry, I'm going to take some of that fine grit sandpaper again and just run over it. So this transfer will feel like it is one. That texture from the table is coming out, and then I'm just going to go ahead and seal just the transfer in one more step with some clear wax. So I thank you for watching today's video, and what did you think of these flips, these makeovers? Does your Goodwill get Target returns or any store returns? I hope they do. They are a great find at a great price. So I thank you so much for watching today's video, and have I inspired you in any way to look at thrift store items in a new way, even that returned aisle. So thank you so much for watching today's videos, guys, and if you're part of my YouTube family, thank you so much. And if you're new to our channel and checking out our content for the first time and you enjoyed this kind of content, hit that subscription button, and we'll see you next time, guys. Bye.